Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's Facebook Live. I'm super excited to be here. And today we're talking about a really important topic, which is around, this piece around how we say yes to everything. So, have you ever been someone where you've said yes, yes to your boss or yes to a social commitment, and then later on kind of been sitting at home going, oh gosh, I wish I hadn't said yes. Now I'm going to have to, in order to honor that commitment, I'm going to have to say no to other stuff that's really important to me and I really wasn't thinking, or that you've said yes and even as the words are coming out of your mouth, you're kind of going, I really want to be saying no to this one. And I think this is a really big challenge. We're not great at saying no, Fee.
Yeah, and it's such a funny phenomenon. And as someone who has been a yes girl for quite a bit of my career and in parts of my life, I really can now see, with a bit of perspective of time and maturity maybe, how much that was costing me. I think when we look at this and why do we say yes, what's really going on here? To some degree, saying yes early in your career can really serve you, right? It can be really helpful. You want to get ahead, you want to try some new things, you want to go with the opportunities that come to you. And I think that's what happened for me. I was so excited about getting into larger organizations, meeting new people, getting new projects, getting lots of new projects, getting some more projects, and before long, getting to that stage of overwhelm. And I think, it's important to start to understand and to notice if that's a pattern that maybe was serving you, but perhaps now it's costing you something to be saying yes all the time. I also feel, we're often saying yes because we fear saying no. So we think about what will people think of us, what will happen to our reputation, will it look as though I don't care, I'm not enthusiastic. So we're worried about the consequence of what a no will be. And the other thing that was really big for me is I wanted to keep all my options open. I wanted to be able to say yes because I wanted to be able to, participate in things and to lead projects. But I also wanted to have a great social life and I wanted to say yes to all the things my friends were doing. And you can sort of see where that's inevitably going to get to. You're so stretched by trying to say yes to too many things and keeping all those options open. It starts to feel unmanageable.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things in there. Really starting to zero in on for what purpose am I saying yes? So, what am I, and those pieces you were saying around, I don't want to miss out, want to keep my options open. What if something better comes along? Like, I think it's really useful to spotlight what that looks like. And then the other one is, why is it that it's so tough for me to say no? Like, what am I really worried about? Am I worried, exactly what you said, am I worried that my boss will think that I'm not working hard, or that I don't want a promotion, or that I'm not committed, or I'm not loyal, or I'm not a subject matter expertise? What is the story we're often unconsciously telling ourselves that's actually meaning in the moment when we're asked, for example, to do something by our boss, that we say yes immediately, because the unconscious is, well, I don't feel like I can say no. And so I think that's a really important piece. It's actually a piece I've done this week in a coaching session personally with a coach of mine, is free choice. Now, how do I actually move myself to a point where I feel like I have free choice to consciously say yes or no? Because the challenge with this one, exactly what you said, early on it works. There's not as much opportunity cost for our yeses, but the more senior you get, the more that the cost of a yes is often disappointment, right? If we're trying to do too much, often we're trying to do more than we have the capacity to do. And so that's when we start dropping balls. And when we drop balls, we disappoint both ourselves and we're disappointing other people both within our workplace. But I know, you mentioned this one a bit, we let people in our personal lives down as well. And so I feel like if you're disappointing yourself and everyone else around you, that's not a really great place to be.
Yes, yeah, and having kind of lived through this and seen it play out and seen this really kind of big personal cost. And the cost isn't, it's leaky, right? It goes across your workplace because you start dropping balls at work, you start not delivering as well as you did, and that doesn't feel great. And then you're taking extra time to do things which is usually robbing time from other parts in your life. So you're not having the connections and the relationships that's so important to sustaining you. And there's a real irony going on here to some degree, because you started out saying yes because you wanted to build brand and profile. You wanted to be known as someone who could deliver, as someone who was a can-do. You wanted all of that stuff. And then as time's gone on and you haven't kind of been realistic about that capacity piece, if you do get to the point of burnout, if you do get to the point of dropping things, that's actually really detrimental to your personal brand. It's really detrimental to your reputation. So I think it's a really important piece, just from a self-care and from a being able to manage through all the things that are going on, to actually get more conscious and to start asking yourself, what is the cost of saying yes all the time? And where could it be useful to me to start saying no a bit more frequently?
Yeah, and I think that piece around sustainability, saying yes to everything is not sustainable. This increase of burnout, fatigue, all of those sorts of things, adrenal fatigue, that was already pretty seriously a challenge for women. It's certainly been growing in the last 5 years. It is a huge issue, and there's no question that if we think about what's the source of a lot of that, it's saying yes to too many things. So I think we've got to get realistic, exactly what you said about our capacity, and get really clear, what am I saying yes to? But the better question, I think, is what are you saying no to?
Yes, I love this. And it's so powerful. And I think we can apply this in our personal and professional lives. We can get really discerning about, what are the projects and what are the things that are actually important and necessary. We can even reflect back to other stakeholders or our boss, if I do this, I may need to say no, or which of these other things will I not get done in this time frame? We really start to calibrate what's important. The other thing I love is, and one of the women in my mother's group used to say this, is one thing per day socially. So when we had little kids, there were always, lots of opportunities, and you could go to this event and that event. There was, there's lots going on. And I think this was a really wise call, that don't try and overdo it, in your social life, in your personal life as well.
Yeah, I think you've got to get clear, right, around what your priorities are. I remember at a time when I was kind of imploding once in my last corporate role, I was in with my CFO, and he just said, Kate, here are the 3 glass balls. Don't drop these 3 balls. Right? They're the ones that matter to me. Everything else will bounce. And I love that analogy, but I think this piece around get clear about what's important, make some decisions, and accept it's not no forever. It's just no for now. And then I think the next piece is around be really clear about why your no's are important, right? For what purpose is it important that you say no to some of these things? Because that will really keep you leveraged in those moments when you really want to say yes. Staying connected in with your why will keep you really supported in to be able to go, you know what? No, not now. And I'm really clear on why, and be able to give a confident no.
Yes, yeah, I really think this piece about that clarity, the acceptance, the kind of calm, yep, this is what I can and can't. As we often say too, saying a no is not necessarily a no forever. So it means I can't do this now, I can't do it in this way, but you will get to choose again, and that's okay. We don't have to do everything all at once. I think the communication piece around this, how we communicate it to others, to important stakeholders, to our family, is to make sure that people understand why we're doing it and what our purpose is and why it matters so much to be able to say no. And one of the things I play with myself was this reframe from FOMO, fear of missing out, to JOMO, joy of missing out. And there was something quite fun in that and light in just saying, you know what, I don't need to do all that stuff. And sometimes it's just really joyful to give myself more space and time rather than filling up the calendar.
Yeah, awesome. So great conversation. If some of what we discussed today resonated with you, please shoot us a message. If you're feeling stuck, uncertain, or really just want to go deeper with this conversation, reach out. We can jump on a call and brainstorm what's going on for you and come up with a plan. Also, if you know someone who says yes all the time and could really benefit from this or any of our other confidence conversations, please tag them below, share it with them in Messenger. We'd really love your support in getting the word out. And helping all of us yes girls start to move into being really able to say no with confidence. So take care and have an awesome week.